So, we are going to continue our identity series tonight. Can anyone remind us what we talked about last week? Well, then I'll forgive you for not knowing what we talked about last week since you weren't here.
Thank you.
What? Where were all of you guys last week? A bunch of slackers.
No,
Who was here last week?
Who was here last week that can remind us what we talked about?
Me.
You got anything for us, Logan? Who was the guy that we talked about? Starts with a J. Nope. Starts with a J, ends with an Joseph.
Joseph!
There we go. We talked about Joseph last week. And we talked about all the different things that could have affected his identity. Today we're going to continue that story. We're actually going to look at one of his brothers later on. But to get started off, I want to talk about cookies. Now, if my thoughts are correct, everybody has a favorite type of cookie, am I right? Raise your hand if you don't have a favorite type of cookie. Now I just think you guys just want to raise your hand. How many people would say that their favorite cookie would be an oatmeal raisin cookie? Okay, a couple oatmeal raisin over anything else. Alright? How many people would say a sugar cookie with sprinkles would be their favorite type of cookie? Okay. One of your favorites? Alright, what about a classic chocolate chip cookie? Hey, you voted for oatmeal raisin earlier. I don't want to see your hands up again. Changing your vote because you didn't know. So, you can't change your vote. That's cheating. That doesn't make you a savage.
You have one of
It's a slacker. No, for this vote you needed one favorite name on it. So, each of us is kind of like one of these cookies. Alright, and I'm going to keep coming back to this. Alright, some of us are kind of plain, good old classic sugar cookie with a couple of crazy sprinkles. That's you energetic middle schoolers. Some of you are crumbly and goofy looking like the oatmeal raisin cookie. And some of you, I would never throw shade with a microphone in my hand. And some of you maybe are the beautiful golden brown chocolate chip cookie that everybody loves.
Don't
Don't take a bite of this cookie.
Yes.
Why did you know what we did? So, but my point is that every one of those cookies has a purpose. There are some people that are going to like each of those cookies. There are some people that aren't going to like those cookies. Am I right? Now, I know it's hard to believe that someone wouldn't like a chocolate chip cookie. It's hard to believe. You raised your hand that that was your favorite. Quit talking. But they all have their purpose. What I want to say is that God made you to be you. You can't take a sugar cookie. I need a volunteer. I need someone to come up here and hold this and not eat it. Not eat it. Take a bite out of this. Alright. So, you won't. So, you cannot take a beautiful sugar cookie and cram chocolate chips into it. You kind of can, but it doesn't make it a chocolate chip cookie. That's still a sugar cookie. That's something no matter how much you want to do it, you can't. It still doesn't make it a chocolate chip cookie. You also can't start knocking up chocolate chip instead. You also can't take all of these sprinkles out to get rid of them because the sprinkle residue is still there.
There's another chocolate cookie still off.
Exactly. The other one fell off.
You're ruining the cookies.
What you got to remember.
No, wait, you good cookies there.
Hold on.
I want it.
Take it.
Oh,
Thanks for being a volunteer. You knew that he was going to get it.
Yeah. That was her.
So, my point is though, with all of that, with all the fun, is that God made you for a reason. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. We all have our own gifts. Sugar cookies are really good at being used for Christmas, for decorating. Apparently he did not like that sugar cookies. You want to spit it out. Probably the part that I touched. Chocolate chip cookies are really good for any time. Oatmeal raisins are really good when you want a chocolate chip cookie and you want to get deceived in eating something healthy. But all cookies and all of us have a reason. We've got gifts that we're good at. We've got things that we're good at. We all enjoy certain things. Some of you guys enjoy Gaga Ball. Some of you do not enjoy Gaga Ball. Some of you enjoy playing video games. Some of you do not enjoy playing video games. Some of you like cheering for the Bengals for some reason. Most of us.
I want you to
Alright, bring it back. Most of us don't.
Help me!
But God made us that way for a reason. We all have things that we're passionate about. There are things that I get really excited when I think about. When I talk to adults in the church, and I get to talk about youth ministry, when I get to talk about what we do on Wednesday nights, I get really passionate. I love youth ministry. If we could do a youth group 5 nights a week, I would do it. I don't think most people would, but I would, because I love youth ministry that much. I do it for like a week and then I hate you all. And have to move on and be some
Wow. I'm surprised.
But we all have those things that we're passionate about. We also all have things that we have burdens for. Who knows what a burden is? What do you think a burden is?
Burden is just something that you keep inside that you hold on to and
Okay, kind of. Not the way that I was going with it, but I see where you're going with that. So when I talk about a burden, when I talk about God put a burden on your heart, that's something that bothers you. For some people, bullying really bothers them, and it drives them nuts, and they just wish that everyone would quit bullying people. For some people, helping homeless people is one of their burdens. They love to go out and help homeless people. Some people really care about helping people who struggle in school. And so that's something that they've got a burden for, is helping people with school. But the point is that God made each of you different. God put different things on your heart. God made some people love being on Snapchat in the middle of a message, and some people not. But I really like this picture. If you guys can read it, I know the font's kind of small. It says, the constant battle is remembering who God made you to be before the world told you that that wasn't good enough. So, I don't know if you've gotten to this point in your life, but eventually people try to tell you to be someone you're not. They try to mess with your identity. And the constant battle, like the photo says, is to be the person that God made you to be, not the person that the world tells you to be. I also want to say that everything that God gives you is intentional. Every gift that you have. So if you're really good at sports, or some of you are really good at dancing, or some of you are really good at school, God gave you that for a reason, because He has a plan for your life. Boys, quit holding hands. Bring it back. Quit playing around. Alright, so, shut your mouth. God has a plan for your life. He had a plan for your life before you were even in your mother's womb. The Bible tells us that He's got a plan for you. And that's why He gives you those gifts. That's why if you're a chocolate chip cookie, He made you a chocolate chip cookie. If you're an oatmeal raisin cookie, that's why He made you an oatmeal raisin cookie. And one of the biggest things I try to tell people is that there are certain people in your life that you're going to be able to bring to Christ. There are certain people that you're going to be able to reach and influence and help them to be better people that I would never be able to reach. And part of that is because of your gifts, your talents, the thing that God has put on your heart, your burdens. Some of it's where you live, the school you go to. If a kid doesn't go to Pleasant Run Middle School and they don't go to church here, I'm probably never going to talk to them. Just a fact. Most of you do not go to Pleasant Run Middle School, but do come here, so I get to talk to you. But there are people in your life that you're going to get to talk to, you're going to get to be a light for. And God planned that from the beginning. It's not coincidence the people that are in your classes. It's not coincidence the people that are in your band or on your sports teams. God planned that for you to use it. But there's a problem with humans, with humanity as a whole. And that's that we fall into this thing called mob mentality. And so if you don't know what mob mentality is, it's when one person is really loud about something, and they get a group, and then everyone just starts to agree with the group, whether they actually agree with them or not. Case in point, Kevin, my boy, raised his hand for oatmeal raisin cookie. Then when he saw everyone else raise their hand for chocolate chip cookie, he stuck his hand up there and joined the mob that wanted a chocolate chip cookie. So, but this has been a problem since the beginning of time. Alright? Humans have always struggled with this. And we're afraid when we're in the mob that the mob is going to turn on us. And that's exactly the story that we're going to look at today with Joshua and his brothers. So, at this point, Joshua, if you guys remember from last week, Joshua is walking up to his brothers. Joshua is the youngest of, Joseph. Oh my gosh, I've been saying Joshua this whole time.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Joseph, sorry. Joseph is the youngest of 12 boys. He's his father's favorite, and his older brothers don't like him and want to kill him. So then, one of his brothers, Rueben, pipes up. In Genesis 37, starting in verse 21, it says, when Rueben heard this, he tried to rescue him from their hands. Let's not take his life, he said. Don't shed any blood. Throw him in this cistern here in the wilderness, but don't lay a hand on him. Reuben said this to rescue him from them and take him back to his father. So Reuben's trying to do the right thing. It was very obvious, if you paid attention to those two verses, that Reuben did not want Joseph to die. But Reuben was stuck in that mob mentality. He couldn't stand up to his brothers and say, no guys, we can't hurt our brother, he's our brother. So he tried to find a way that he could keep his brother alive to go save him later. He wanted it to look like he didn't care about Joseph. He wanted to fit in with that mob. He wanted to vote for chocolate chip cookies even if chocolate chip wasn't his favorite. Because he was afraid of the mob. He was afraid of his 10 other brothers turning on him. And he allowed fear to prevent him from doing what was right. And the hard part is that you have to learn to be you even when it's not popular. Because there's going to be times in your life where you see people doing the wrong thing. I'm sure you guys have all seen it in school where people start capping on one kid over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've seen it. And that one kid is trying to cap back, but he can't say anything without stuttering, and he's getting laughed at, he's getting made fun of, and he's got no friends. But do you stand up for him, even though you know what's wrong?
Yep.
Yes.
Proud of you if you do it. At my school, I don't see it very often. I see everyone jumping in and laughing. But it's hard because no one likes to go against their friends, and even more so, no one likes to go against their family. When I was 19 years old, I had just decided that I was going to go to college to go be a youth pastor, and about half my family doesn't go to church. They don't want anything to do with church. They think the fact that I went to school to be a youth pastor is dumb. They think the fact that I am a youth pastor is dumb. They don't like it. And I was still pretty immature in my faith. And I was eating lunch with some family members, and I remember I just changed what school I was going to go to. I just changed the major that I was going to be to go be a youth pastor. And I'm eating lunch with some family members, and my uncle goes, hey Derek, what are you going to go to school for again? And I grabbed a handful of chips and shoved them in my mouth, because I didn't want to say anything. Because I didn't want to talk about the fact that I was going to go be a youth pastor, because even though I knew that that's what God wanted me to do, I was scared. And my cousin piped up and goes, oh, he's going da-da-da-da-da, and he's going to go study sports medicine or something like that, because that's what I was going to study. And I just kind of sat there and smiled, and my uncle was like, oh, okay, cool. And immediately God hit me in the gut. I was like, really? You're too scared to say that you're going to go be a youth pastor? I was like, sorry. Eventually, though, I did get another chance. I did get to, one of my family members asked me where I was going to school, and I spoke up, and I was like, sorry, God, I won't do that again, probably. But God knows that I mess up, and He forgives me. But when you feel God telling you to speak up, whether it's to someone being a bully, someone being rude to a teacher, someone being mean to a substitute, because middle schoolers, high schoolers, you guys get crazy when there's a sub. Don't know why, but you do. It's true, don't lie.
Everybody knows it. Not me.
Does that make it okay?
No.
Okay. But when God tells you to speak up, you've got to speak up. When you hear God in the back of your head, some people call it their conscience. Some people say it's a voice in the back of their head talking to them. I believe it's God speaking to you quietly so that you can hear Him. When you hear Him, you've got to speak up. Because you never know what you speaking up is going to spark. You never know the change that your voice can have. And I've heard people say, oh, I'm 12 years old, I'm 13, I'm 14, I'm 15. I can't make an influence. I can't influence the world. Fortnite is making over $1 billion by being a free video game because middle schoolers and high schoolers play it and spend their parents' money. And they do all these ridiculous dances that you three have been doing all day. Hey, you stop that.
It is true. I hate it.
Fortnite's the best.
Pretty silly.
So, but my point is that if middle schoolers and high schoolers weren't so obsessed with it, I'm not saying it's good or bad, I enjoy playing it. But if you guys didn't take it by fire, post about it all over the internet, pay the money to play it, because it's a free game, it wouldn't be as big as it was. And adults like me who try to copy kids to be cool wouldn't be playing it. Because you guys have your voice. That's the point though that I'm trying to make. Is you guys got to learn to speak up when God's calling you to speak up. Because God wants to speak through you. And like I said, there are these convictions. The quiet voice in the back of your head. When God lays something on your heart. When you see a kid at lunch eating by himself and he doesn't have any friends. When you see someone trying to be mean to the substitute teacher or lie to the substitute teacher to get out of trouble. God lays those things on your heart. It's your responsibility to speak up. God made you passionate about certain things. There are things that you guys love. Trust me, I've heard you guys talk about things for like 20 minutes and have no idea what you're talking about, but you're so excited to talk about it. And God gave you those things for a reason, so that you could use it. God doesn't want you to just sit back and not use those gifts, to not use those passions, because He gave you those for a reason. And God, like I said earlier, God's going to use you in ways that He couldn't use me. God was trying to use Rueben to save Joseph. But Rueben backed out. Rueben was the one that had the chance to step up and save his brother's life. But he stepped away because he was scared. In what ways is God calling you to step up? What ways is God calling you to use your passions? What ways is God calling you to use your gifts in your environment? But one of the last things I want to say is that God's going to be a gentleman. God will knock on your heart all day long. God will try to get you to talk all day long. But at the end of the day, it's your choice to respond to God's conviction. It's your choice to say, all right, God, I'll speak up. Because Rueben kind of spoke up. He made it so they didn't just kill his brother, but they didn't save his life. He didn't save his life. It's your choice to go sit by that kid that doesn't have any friends. It's your choice to help that kid in your class that's struggling. It's your choice to tell everyone to be quiet and quit making fun of a kid. It's your choice to let God speak through you in a situation. It's your choice to be used by God. So these last couple things I want you guys to think about before we break into small groups. God designed you the way He wanted you to be. Whether you are an oatmeal raisin cookie, a chocolate chip cookie, or a sugar cookie that Marcus would spit out. God designed you on purpose. God gave you those gifts, those passions for a reason. And you've got to learn to be you even when it isn't popular. Rueben needed to learn to step up even when it wasn't popular for him to step up. But he didn't do it. And it almost cost his brother his life. Think about that. Rueben was afraid to tell his brothers not to kill Joseph, and it almost cost Joseph his life. So when God's trying to speak through you, you've got to speak up. And the last thing is it's your choice to respond to God. God's going to be a gentleman. He's not going to force you to answer, but it's your choice when God calls for you to answer. So I'm going to pray. We're going to break up into small groups. You guys pray with me? God, thank you so much for this night. Thank you for this message. Thank you for letting us talk about cookies and our identity and who you made us to be. We ask that as we go into small groups, you bless our time, help us to understand the topics that we're talking about. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, high schoolers are all over there. Middle school boys are there. Middle school girls are in room 12.
I think you were right.
Olivia, you were in that